A series of considered conversations of mutual curiosity, which ideally will result in a fair exchange of value. That changed everything for me.
You're listening to the Sales Today podcast, and I'm your host, Fred Copestake. On this podcast, we explore how sales professionals can develop a modern approach to winning business, the application of virtual selling techniques, how to create meaningful business relationships, and much more. Why not take our free collaborative selling scorecard to see how your sales approach suits today's environment? You'll find a link in the show notes. And welcome to the Sales Today podcast, where I'm delighted to be joined today by James Michael. Today it's going to be a bit different. We're going to turn things upside down, which is kind of relevant because James is sat in Australia and I'm sat here in the UK. And the reason I sort of say we're going to do this is that James is going to interview me more than I'm going to interview him. So yeah, we thought we'd have a bit of fun turning it around like this.
I get a sense that I know the answer to this already in terms of your answer, but I'm going to ask it for the audience. Has selling really changed?
Yes and no. That's a good one. I'll explain. At its core, no. Yeah, it's asking questions to understand people, to help them get the solution that's going to solve the problem that they've got. Yeah. If we don't do that and we've lost sight of that, then we're not selling. It has been through evolutions. What I quite often do is I will talk to people about what went on in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, 10s, 20s, and you could see these distinct eras of stuff going on, where what we can do now is say, look, what was happening then, still relevant. Still we need to do that, but there are some modern tweaks to it. Yeah. And on and on and on. 80s, let's skip it. Actually, no, you still got to get commitment. You've still got to move to next phases of sales. So even the 80s, we can learn stuff from. But there are also things along this timeline we jettison. But if we're taking the good bits, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. To get to this point where, look, we're at such a good point in time where there's all this stuff's gone on before. We've got a better understanding of people than ever before. Through assessments, through functional MRIs. So we can do such a brilliant job. So it's changed in that we can do a better job. Yes, but fundamentally we're still trying to do that thing. So Yes and no.
Okay, cool, love it. Last one, in a condensed single sentence, if possible. From your perspective, what is selling?
Helping people buy.
Okay. Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
No, you were expecting me to be still going on in about 5 minutes time, weren't you? Yeah, helping people buy, and I will expand a tiny bit because I don't want to disappoint you on the fact that you were expecting 5 minutes. More and more and more, I'm talking to people about, we have a sales process. Yes, and I've talked about a sales process. Right. Said sales process is actually aligned to the buying process. Yeah, so if you're losing sight of that, again, you're losing sight of sales. So people are going through a buying process. They are going to be doing things anyway, with or without you. What will happen, particularly in our world, particularly in the cement world, is people come along to you and say, oh, I'd like you to tender for this. And you go, oh, brilliant. They think we're awesome. They love us. They must have seen our website where we said we're innovative and market leader and whatever. Yeah. We're going to win this. No, look back at the buying process. They will have done a ton of stuff to get there, either on their own, because there is enough information out there, or with somebody else, who has got in early doors, said, you've probably got these problems. I haven't. I do. You're right. That's an even more advanced way of sales. And have started to do this thing with them. Then they need to get out to we need 3 tenders. Well, fine, I'm comfortable with that because I've done this along with you. So yeah, be aware of buying process. That's what I'm saying there.
Yeah, cool, good. I had a fundamental sticking point, which is kind of weird, for a good number of years, and it's weird because of the fact that I co-owned a sales training business. Fast forward a little later, I've owned this sales recruitment business, but I had a philosophical sticking point with this thing called selling. Right, because of the way in which I'd been raised in selling, and that was that you twist people's arms until such time as they tap out and say, yeah, okay, I give in, I'll buy, right? Until a really good mate of mine shared an insight that changed everything for me around selling. And he said, James, it's as simple as this. It's a series of considered conversations of mutual curiosity that ideally will result in a fair exchange of value. Yeah?
Oh, I like that.
It's a series of considered conversations of mutual curiosity, which ideally will result in a fair exchange of value. That changed everything for me,
It's got lots going on in it, that, hasn't it? Series of
hasn't it?
conversations, not one and done. Considered, as in you've
Mm,
actually thought about the stuff you say, not just chatting. Yeah.
yeah.
Ideally, it might not. Okay, that's
Mm,
okay. That's okay.
yeah.
And fair exchange of
Curiosity.
value. There is a ton going on in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's another thing where people can learn so much from is that, oh, God, what I'm selling is quite expensive. Hang on a minute. Look at the problem you're solving. Yeah, that's a fair exchange because you'll bring your expertise, your product, and all that good stuff to something that
Mm,
somebody is getting stuck with. That's another thing we can use if people have got this kind of blocker as to what they're doing. Oh, I love
yeah.
that. Mm, might
Cool.
change mine next time I'm asked. You'll
Very
see
good.
you'll see a LinkedIn post in a couple of weeks going,
Yeah, yeah.
"All right, Copestake, I can see where you're going. I
Uh-huh.
was thinking this weekend." Well, I know why you were thinking this weekend. Because the cricket finished early because we beat you. Oh God, that didn't go well for
Yeah,
us.
let's not go down
So
that
you
road.
had plenty of time, and yeah, so yeah, awesome, very good, very good, excellent. So to round out then for the Sales Today podcast, where can people get in touch with you if they wanted to sort of discuss this more or kind of hear a bit more, the psychometric or the assessment that you mentioned? Where do they get in touch?
Yeah, probably the best place to kind of find me is going to be LinkedIn. So it's just James Michael, based in Orange in Sydney. Alternatively, hop onto the website, which is justifiedtalent.com. And yeah, you'll find my ugly mug up there on a video and some little buttons you can press to make contact.
Awesome, and we'll pop a link to that into the show
Cool.
notes as well. So brilliant.
Excellent.
Well, thanks for taking the time to sort of turn the tables and to extract some stuff. And to be fair, you've shared loads of good stuff too. So
Thank you, mate.
yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. It's been great. Very good. I'll let you get on with your Friday, and I think it's beer o'clock down here.
Thank you for listening to the Sales Today podcast with me, your host, Fred Copestake. I hope you've enjoyed what you heard today. If you did, please get in touch and hit subscribe. And remember, you can take the Collaborative Selling Scorecard for free to check out how your sales approach works in today's environment. You'll find it in the show notes.